And that's how the theme song goes. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. If you didn't know, this is the only podcast. What? Oh, my God. I was thinking about what I say for the application. If you didn't know, this is the only podcast. This is the leading podcast for the website, seamlesscomedy.com. Like I said, it's a website. Go there. I don't know what's going on. Audition is having some issues today. I just got done recording the application, and now Audition's being a little butt face over there doing something. I think I have a notification on my phone, but I can't see it right now. It doesn't matter. Hey, this is the application podcast. This is the weekly podcast for cpluscomedy.com where we talk about stuff, all types of stuff, big stuff, small stuff, some as big as your head. All right, let's get to the first thing, please. I'm so tired. Let's get to the first thing. I saw this article not even like 40 minutes ago that it started talking about from the Wrap, saying that YouTube Premium is no longer one of the top 10 streaming services in the United States, which is crazy that it's even getting beaten out by something like DirecTV Now, which is insane. But I would think that YouTube Premium, it would be such one of those easier streaming services to access because, you know, it's you already have the app. It's or YouTube Premium. Oh, I'm thinking of YouTube TV. Oh, wow. YouTube TV is not even in there. So YouTube Premium is not even in the top 10. That's a thing that you get free with Google Play Music. And I can only imagine that the real fight between music streaming competitors is between Apple Music and Spotify. So if you're an iPhone user, I mean, you can get all three. If you're an iPhone user, you can get Google Play Music. But it just doesn't make sense to choose between Apple Music or Spotify. Apple Music's already on your phone. Spotify has this good UI and everyone knows it. Everyone knows how to work Spotify. I think that's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that no one knows how to use YouTube Premium. So here are the top 10 over the OTT streaming video market video services from Parks Associates. Number 1, Netflix. Number 2, Prime Video. Number 3, Hulu. Number 4, HBO Now. Number 5, Starz. Number 6, Starz is ranked so high. Why is that? Who in their right mind is saying, let me get HBO and let me get Starz, but no other premium cable channel? I mean, no other premium channel. Yeah, it's still cable. MLB TV, which makes sense. Showtime, CBS All Access. Old people, I guess, was that one. Sling TV and DirecTV Now. Why is DirecTV Now even in this? A lot of these don't make sense. Who is choosing Starz over Showtime? It goes in this order. It goes HBO, Showtime's, Starz, and Cinemax. I was going to say Cinemax and Starz, but Cinemax doesn't have any original shows anymore. And I like Starz more than I like Cinemax. But Starz does not have a good selection of movies. No offense to them. Again, Starz, if you want me to make something for you, I got you. I got tons of ideas. I think that's insane. But YouTube Premium is a different, I don't know. I guess it is. These are just for streaming. Well, I don't even know. This is not streaming services because it doesn't make sense that this is, I don't know, because if DirecTV Now is included, YouTube TV should be included in the pot. You get what I'm saying? Like if Hulu's in there, then it should be YouTube TV as well. If Showtime's in there, YouTube TV. If it's CBS All Access, YouTube TV. DirecTV, because these are all things that you can watch live same day stuff on. But Hulu does SVOD. Does have SVOD in the parentheses next to it. Very strange. YouTube Premium was in 7th place last year, but it just fell off the list. It was beaten by CBS All Access, Sling TV. Sling TV makes sense. DirecTV Now must be bolstering its numbers because AT&T includes DirecTV Now with a bunch of bundles, but it doesn't matter. I just wanted to mention that. Let's move on. Let's move on to the other thing. Another article that just came out. Apparently, there's a Breaking Bad movie in the works. It's going to happen. It's going to follow Jesse Pinkman right after the series. There's not much known about it. It just says this is. I'm reading this on Slash Film. Apparently, they got the exclusive, so good for them. Who wrote this article? Good for Jacob Hall. So it takes place after the series. Walt is shot and killed. and he's looking up at the ceiling of this drug warehouse. Jesse Pinkman, who was taken hostage in the last season at some point, is driving off in this car, and he's happy and he's crying. And that's how the show should end, and that's how this series should end. We don't need this follow up, but apparently Gilligan put out a log line. And this is a log line. The movie would, quote, track the escape of a kidnapped man in his quest for freedom. And that's the end of that. I don't know. I don't think this needs to exist. I mean, you already have Better Call Saul. You're already killing it. Well, AMC must be really, because with this news and the news that Andrew Lincoln is going to not die in The Walking Dead. No. He's going to star in 3 movies. 3 movies for the franchise, which I think is insane. They shouldn't have baited and switched everybody, thinking that everyone knew Rick Grimes is not going to be on the show anymore. Also, I would not have said Rick Grimes is not going to be on the show anymore. However it got out, I would have just tried to keep, to tamper expectations and then let people find out organically. I'm on the video. I must look very comfortable because my hands are above my head, but this is me trying to think of something to say. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that, but I think AMC is really trying to hit into the movie space. Yeah. But what are they going to do for 3 movies? And apparently there's a time jump. I read into it. I knew I tried to know what was going to happen. All right, let's keep moving on. I got other stuff to talk about. So I have the Walking Dead universe. I already talked about. Oh my God, this is in my notes. I'm such a stupid idiot. Well, I just started this podcast over, and I mean over from episode number 1, and we talked about everything. The breakup, job hunts, all that stuff. Yeah. So there's a Walking Dead universe that's gonna be coming out soon enough. So let's see. Here's an article from Deadline that says Andrew Lincoln still in the Walking Dead world with Rick Grimes movies planned, calls it end of the beginning, which is crazy. So this is what I gathered from the review that I read on the AV Club. The reviewer, not a happy person about this cop out. What happened to Carl? Did he die or did he leave the show? I know he left the show, but did he die or did he just leave? So here's what happened. If you don't want to watch The Walking Dead, and neither do I, I understand. Something happened last week. In last week's episode, Rick was impaled on some type of metal pipe and it went through his side. I saw a picture of that. And then in this episode, he somehow got off the pipe and he got into a car or something like that. I don't know. And he was seeing all of his dead friends. So that means people came back for the show, including John Bernthal, who is him and Stephen Young are the only people on the history of The Walking Dead who have had careers outside of The Walking Dead, which is not a knock against those other people, but it's just what happens in a high powered drama like that. I've already talked about this in an episode a long time ago, where for The Walking Dead and for Game of Thrones, no one in those shows except for Stephen Young, John Bernthal for The Walking Dead, and for Game of Thrones, let's see, Peter Dinklage. No one else has had a career outside of those shows. Like, they're forever going to be tied to those shows. Like, you can star in something and it could go poorly, like Kit Harington in Pompeii. Why do I remember that? Kit Harington in Pompeii. That's when I came up with a theory, because the movie was so big and like the advertisements made it look like it's going to be this huge blockbuster. Came out middling reviews. I think poorly performing, and that's just how it goes for some people. Man, all these elections that happened last night, I'm really going to timestamp this episode, but all those elections that happened last night and the back and forth was crazy. All I can say is vote early. Get out and vote, and also vote early. So we got 3 movies coming, apparently. I need a table for this laptop so I can just read it like a normal person. We have 3 movies coming, and apparently at the end of I'll keep going explaining the episode, what I read. So, and Rick sees all these people that have previously passed, and they all talking to him or something like that. It's kind of like the last episode of Desperate Housewives when Susan Myers is leaving the neighborhood. She and her daughter Julie are driving away from the neighborhood, and they're moving out. They see all the people that have died over the course of the show. which is such a strange thing to come to hire actors and come back to this lot behind Warner Brothers. I assume they shot on Warner Brothers. I don't know, Fox lot, who knows? And say, stand here and you're going to watch them drive off. It's so strange. But that's what happened with The Walking Dead. Andrew Lincoln is so his kid. So Rick Grimes, I guess, as some woman. There was a helicopter, and then someone came, and they were like, "Oh, there's a helicopter," and then this helicopter came, and they were like, "Medevac," you know, and then they flew Rick Grimes away, and then they're never going to see him again. Then they did a time jump, and apparently there was a baby. Oh, his wife had a baby. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I was like, where did this baby come from? So there's a time jump, and now Rick Grimes' daughter is a preteen in the mid-season. This is a mid-season time jump, and his daughter's a preteen. And that is what happened. So I don't know if there's a new episode this week, this coming Sunday. Who know? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't watch the show, but that was a very interesting thing. And I'm all for a mid-series time jump, especially if you need to accelerate some stories. So that's what's happening. He was medevaced. There were some people. I guess there was a fight or something like that. I don't know. I would have kept this close to the chest. I wouldn't have let anyone know that we were doing this, that Rick was going to die. And the final thing, JJ Abrams has a mega deal in the works anywhere. He, just like Steven Spielberg, his idol before him, JJ Abrams is looking to have a mega deal. This is from Variety. JJ Abrams seeking record-shattering overall mega deal. Several major Hollywood studios are courting JJ Abrams, who is looking to land a lucrative mega deal with a big media company. So that basically means is he's going to sign up with somebody like a Warner Brothers or Time Warner Media. I don't call themselves Warner Brothers anymore, or Warner Media, or a Sony. He's going to sign up with somebody so they can give him money to make these big movies that he's been making, but they will pay a lot of money. Kind of like the Shonda Rhimes deal, or like Netflix paying Shonda Rhimes hundreds of $1 million, or paying Ryan Murphy hundreds of $1 million, or paying Kenya Barris hundreds of $1 million to make TV shows. Except this will be a lot more money. I guarantee it. And the only people that are able to make this type of deal are these huge directors like Steven Spielberg, like a George Lucas. Also other people who haven't touched a Star Wars. I can't think of anybody right now, but Abrams' deal with Warner Brothers TV, which he originally signed in 2006, is up in May of next year. Paramount deal, also forged in 2006, expires in March of 2020. Conversations with the suitors are happening at this early stage, partly because of the complexity of the deal. Wow. So he could see, obviously he's going to see the hundreds of millions. I know for a fact, I can hear it in my head. The sirens outside. Also, before, when I had to re-record a little bit of the intro, but I heard the rain outside. It's getting so loud. Jesus. I'm so sorry for that, guys. Oh my God. It's so loud. It's so annoying. Okay. So anyway, let's keep going. But realistically, these people have said the race is down to Disney and Comcast Universal, and both certainly have the infrastructure to indulge him in these efforts. The Warner Brothers and its parent Warner Media are still in the mix. I don't know if Disney has and this depends on who he hooks up with, because if he does it with Disney, I mean that's fine, and obviously that they're the biggest studio production house company. They're the biggest. Well, I don't know. They're one of the biggest in the world. But he can only do so much with them, if he wants to make the Dark Cloverfield sequel that he wants to make, the only movie he needs to make, then he's not gonna be able to do that. And if he wants to make because Disney's all family friendly, but if he does it with Universal, he can do whatever he wants with it. But obviously it's going to be less money. So we'll see where that goes, where that lands, and where that takes him. It's going to be very strange. Like, see, James Cameron, he's been for the past, when did Avatar come out? 2009, 2008. I was young when it came out, so I'm still young, but I was young when it came out. I remember seeing that, and that was like that was one of the first 3D movies. And I mean like good, like decent 3D where you'd have to put on plastic glasses. You had to put on these heavy plastic glasses. But man, 3D movies today have it easy. And I don't even know if they still release movies in 3D. I know they do children's movies. And apparently I think Thor Ragnarok was in 3D too, but that's neither here nor there. Their glasses were these thick glasses that old people would wear when they got their eyes dilated, pupils dilated. And I remember these thick glasses, they barely fit over my glasses at the time. And they weren't like these red and blue ones, those papery red and blue ones that are really crappy that would make your head hurt. But you see like the picture would pop out but you have these colorized lines around the characters, around the scene. And it was just so ugly. And I hated that. And and I never liked 3D movies. And I think that's why I don't like Avatar. Also, Avatar is, not good, but that's not here nor there. But that was one of the original 3D movies. And now we've got 3 Avatar movies coming in the next 3 years. Who wants this? No one wants this. And those titles are so bad. Okay, I'm not here to dish on Avatar, but there you go. So Abrams is looking for a new deal. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break. I'm going to jump into this next half of this show, and I'm going to talk about emptying my email. I'm going to talk about a wedding I went to this past weekend. So thank you so much for listening. We'll continue in a snap of a finger. There it is. Okay, we are back. It's like nothing happened. So much happened during my break, guys. I went outside, I played in the rain, and saw this bus full of cheerleaders. It was amazing. They all stopped and said, "We want to play with you, Chad." And I was like, "Stop it, ladies. I got a show to record." Like, "Ooh, you're the guy who hosts that really cool show, News Time on C Plus Comedy." And I was like, "Yeah, you guys sound weird. I don't want to hang out with you anyway." They're like, "Fine." And then they left. But not before all flashing me. I'm insane in the membrane. All right. So what are we talking about now? Oh, we're talking about the wedding. So this past weekend, I just, another one of my friends got married. And if you're keeping count, that is in fact all of my friends who are married, which is very true. Or booed up. I got nobody. It's fine. One of these days I'll be able to afford Red Dead Redemption 2 and I won't need anybody. But until then, I just bide my time with the games I own. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I went to this wedding. It was in Nashville. This is my 3rd time in Nashville. Right? I have this story that I can't tell that happened at a wedding I went to, and not at a wedding, it happened after the wedding, at my friend's house. I can't talk about it. Okay. Anyway, one of these days I'll tell you that story. It's a very, very funny story that changed the way I look at one of my friends forever. But anyway, so I went to this wedding in Nashville. I drove up on this Saturday. Did I mention this last week? Drove up on a Saturday. And actually, I went for a jog that morning, which was insane of me to do. It was so stupid. I went for a jog. I woke up at like 5:30, like I usually do. I keep waking up at 5:30 because I go to the gym at 5:30. So I usually wake up at. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So I woke up at 5:30, and I looked at the weather, and I thought, nah, it's too cold to run. It was like 42 degrees. Even if I put on sweatshirt and all this stuff, I don't have a sweatshirt, a jacket and sweatpants and thick socks, still. So I said, I'll wait till 7. So I knocked out News Time, which was insane, which is crazy. I put it all together. I downloaded all the assets, threw it all together. And then at 7:00, it was Google said it was going to be, 50 something degrees, like 55. So I said, okay, I was going to run. Ran. I didn't want to go to 4 miles. I knew it was going to hurt. I made it to like 3.8, something like that. And my chest was hurting. It was so cold. My hand was frozen because this is the hand I have the water bottle in. My hand was frozen. And I was like 2 minutes in run time from my house. And so I switched hands and I started just doing this. And then this hand started freezing up. And the water's not even cold. It was just so cold outside. And if you keep your hands like not moving, so they freeze up. So I mean, it was a very, very eventful run. Then I knocked out a little bit of, no, I did the grocery shopping before then. So then I left and I went to the wedding. I drove to Nashville. It turns out that all of my guy friends that were going to the wedding were a part of the wedding party and I wasn't invited. And so I called up one of them. I said, "What are you guys doing?" I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Nashville in a second, or near Nashville in a second." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Well, we're at this church." And he goes, "Oh," I go, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can't do anything then." And then I call up my other friend and go, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I just with the bachelor." And I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Crap, are you kidding me?" So they're doing whatever. So all the guys are doing whatever. And so I just go, okay, why not? I'll just hang out at somewhere. So I try to find a place to charge my car. Hotel. I found a Hilton in Murfreesboro to charge my car. And I couldn't fall asleep for the longest time because I knew I had to take a nap. I couldn't fall asleep for the longest amount of time during this. And then around 2:30, I'm listening to 1A or I'm listening to some video game podcast and I fall asleep. And I managed to fall asleep, and then I say, okay, I'll wake up at 3:30, and then I'll just leave. I'll just drive off. I keep sleeping, and it's 3:30. I go, oh God, I gotta go, and then I have to throw on my suit. I have to go pee inside this hotel. Also, you can just walk into a hotel and nobody will say anything, which I've experienced several times before. I change and everything. I leave at 3:35. It's the thing. Or no, I leave at like 3:15 or something like that. And I'm 10 minutes away from the venue. And so I drive off and these people in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and Tennessee in general, they drive so freaking slow. Speed limit can be whatever. It could be 40 and they can go 31. And I'm just sitting behind people. I'm like, come on, guys, come on, And then I get there and as if on time, I get there at 3:59. As this is the only time that this has ever happened. The wedding starts at 4:00, and this guy at this farm. The wedding's at a farm. The venue's at a farm, and this is also too many farm weddings, way too many farm weddings. People, please stop having farm weddings. I've been to too many, and I drive up, and the guy goes. He goes, "Nah, we already started. So you just have to park down here." And I go, "Oh, okay." So I have to walk up and this other girl's late. And then these other two people Uber up there too. So there's 4 of us and it's a couple and it's a girl and then it's me. And so I'm walking up behind this girl. I mean, this sounds so weird. I'm walking up behind them. I don't know. I don't think they know each other. I think they tangentially know each other. I don't think they know each other's names, but the 3 of them are talking to each other. They're not acknowledging me. I'm standing right beside them and I'm chiming in and they're not acknowledging me. You ever been in that situation where you're with people and you're in the same situation and no one's talking to you? It's very strange. It makes you feel invisible. But I'm dressed better than them, so no big deal. So then the wedding coordinator, I guess, tells us that we can hang out by the gift table, which is like 15 feet diagonal to the wedding party. Before we have to wait for the bride to sit down, and then we eventually the bride comes out, and then she goes, "All right, go." So we start running up behind where people sit. And again, I'm nobody. This couple finds 2 seats, clearly a third near them, and they just they run to those 2 seats, and people let them in and sit down. And then this other girl just disappears from the map. And then I look over, and there's some seats up front, but I don't want to be that person to interrupt the wedding and like come in from the side and sit down. And the photographer, she's pointing, she goes, right. I go, no, it's fine. And the DJ offers up his seat, and I go, you betcha, sir. And I sit right behind everybody in the DJ spot. And it's so strange. So I'm sitting basically cat corner to where if you're watching the video, check out the video. So if we're facing the bride, the wedding gifts or the directory or whatever, the book sign thing is diagonally to the right behind them, and I'm diagonally to the left behind everybody. And but I'm still a part of the wedding. I can lean out and touch the guy in front of me. So that's how I was close. Uh, and and then the wedding happens. It goes by in about 20 minutes, pretty quick. And I see my friends who are groomsmen. Also, the bridesmaids kept looking out to the crowd. Like, it's not your day. You focus on the bride, please. This is so rude. I saw this one girl who was right behind the maid of honor, and she kept looking to the crowd. Who are you looking for? Who are you looking for? She kept smiling. It's just notice me. But I saw my friends who were groomsmen, and then like as the bride passed by everybody, they saw me, and I just waved like a child, and I made them laugh, and that was the greatest thing that happened. So amazing to make four idiots laugh up there, right with the bride and groom. I hope they got it on video. So then now we're moving everything over to the barn. And I run into a couple of friends I knew who got married to each other. It sounds so weird to describe. I have some friends that got married to each other. I knew them both independently before they got married to each other, and we hung out. And then one of the groomsmen's wife, very sorry, Mike. His wife comes, and then she joins the conversation. And I go, all right, great. I have 3 people I know here. This is awesome. Because sometimes you go to these weddings and you don't know a lot of people, especially if you go alone, which I am very much alone. I was alone twice yesterday. And oh my gosh, that is the dirtiest thing I've said on this show. So I can't even transition out of that. So it was the 4 of us. And then the other couple, they're friends with, because one of them went to grad school with the groom. So then I start talking to all these other grad school people, and so now it's just me and my friend's wife, and we're just shooting the mess. Honestly, there's a lot of people I have not spoken to in my friends' lives, like my friends' spouses, like their husbands and wives. I just haven't spoken to them a lot, and so this is one of those times. But you know what, we hit it off. We have a lot in common, and she can get down with my jokes, and so that's good. It's great. And then finally the groomsmen came out, and now there's 7 of us, and we're all having a good time. Finally, there's so many of us. Eventually get inside of the barn. Barn's beautifully lit. Great seating. There's no food yet. We have to wait. But I'm sitting with some people I barely know from high school, from college. People I wasn't friends with. I'm going to go ahead and say people I did not like, and they did not like me, but you gotta make it nice. And then, the entire time, especially since I came alone, because I was planning on bringing somebody this. But I'm turning around and I'm saying, oh my God. Jesus, that was thunder. I'm turning around and I'm seeing my other friends, and I'm just like, I'm waving to them like, hey guys, what's up? How you doing? They're sitting at the table with the groom and all that stuff. But I had a good time. Everyone had a good time. Everybody just ended up hanging out. That was the same night that there was the turn back, the fall back. And I did not know that was happening. We're out at a bar it's like 2 a.m. And then, which means it's a 3 a.m. Atlanta time, which means it's way past Daddy's bedtime. But then I noticed that we're still out, and I go and I look at my watch, and it's still 2 a.m. And I go, wait a minute, it should be. And they're like, no, we're all falling back. And I go, oh my God. So I was out technically to 4 a.m. Atlanta time, because the bar closed at 3. I don't know. The bar was still going on even when we left at 3. It was crazy. Kung Fu, check it out. It's a place I've been to twice now. No. Yeah, twice. 3 times. Have I been there every time I've been in Nashville? Yes. Anyway, so that's what we did. And I stayed out all night long, and I woke up. I went to bed at like 4-ish, and then I woke up at 6, and I couldn't go back to sleep. Just watched Vine compilations. And then I had breakfast with a friend. Well, I barely had breakfast because the place we went to didn't have food. It was the kitchen was closed down. And then I came home. Then I had to go to to a little party, a little family friend, a friend of the family party. I was the friend of the family. And that is the story of what I did this past weekend. Some other stuff happened, but I'm not going to recount the entire wedding because there's nothing interesting that happened that much in the wedding. I did not mean this means nothing to you, but there's a lamp that I turned on over there by my desk and it should not be on because I think it's messing up the lighting behind that second camera there, but whatever. So yeah, you should check out the application podcast, everybody, because I've expended a lot of energy on that, and hopefully that's coming. There's a job coming soon. Hopefully, oh my God, please, so I can stop doing that stupid show and just rely on this in news time. Oh man, anybody still listening to this? It's been half an hour. Hey, if you like what you heard here, why don't you head on over to cpluscomedy.com where you got interviews and where this podcast lives, as well as the application. And you can see a video version of this show in the same page, in the same post as this episode. Also, can you tell if you're watching the video, can you tell I did I did biceps today? Biceps and back. It's crazy. It's the Wolverine workout, the Hugh Jackman workout, excuse me. Also on the website is News Time. News Time is a show that lives on youtube.com/C+comedy, along with the Constitutionals video version. But News Time is a show that is an weekly entertainment news show that talks about the news that you didn't know about. So I talk about a news story that you did not hear about or one that you did hear about, but I go in depth into it. Okay. She's got stock news. I don't care. So there's that. So there's all that stuff. This week's episode of News Time is about voting in comedy. Sorry, comedy's place at voting, because there was the midterms. I was being very topical. And then it's also about, I don't even know if that camera's still on. And then it's also about, the main story is basically soundtracks. The Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, released last week, didn't have too many good reviews, but the track listing on the album is 27 to 30 tracks long. So I think, and A Star Is Born reached the Billboard Top 200, to reach #1 for the 4th week in a row. And I really do believe that Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody's soundtrack from the movie is going to eclipse that handedly. So there you go. Other movie soundtracks that came out this year, and soundtracks are original soundtracks, or soundtracks in general, are the songs that are handpicked, like the pop songs for the movie, versus the film score, which is the wordless ones. The other ones that came out this year, the only other 2 original ones were The Greatest Showman and The Black Panther. And so those are the 2 original ones. Bohemian Rhapsody's not, and then A Star Is Born is as well. So there you go. So definitely check it out. It's a good episode, way better than last week's episode. I'm admitting that. Okay, so thank you for listening. I very much appreciate it. I love you. This has been the Constitutionals. We'll see you next week, baby. Listen to the application. Bye.